So, could President Assad use chemical weapons against the Syrian opposition? Tim Brown of the Global Security Group joins me now from Washington. Tim, should we really be concerned by these reports about chemical weapons that are supposedly on the move inside Syria?
Well, anytime the United States president calls out the Syrian regime and mentions that they're concerned about the movements and that if they use them, they'd be crossing red lines, we should all be very concerned.
President Obama, as you just mentioned, has warned the Assad regime. He's also said that there will be consequences if chemical weapons are used. How is America likely to respond?
Well, it's going to be a multi-day, maybe a couple-week air campaign involving thousands of aircraft dropping precision-guided munitions on all the suspected chemical weapon sites, on all the rocket launchers, all the suspected artillery positions, on all the aircraft that are capable of carrying weapons, and it's going to result in the regime change of President Assad. Basically, it's going to be a takedown of the Assad regime, starting with the top leadership elements, the intelligence services, and also the services that are in charge of protecting and safeguarding the chemical weapons stockpile. It's going to be a war.
Can you see any specific circumstances in which Assad would use chemical weapons against the opposition or his own people?
Well, a few weeks ago, he said that he was asked about whether he would be willing to accept asylum in another country, and he said that, I think I'm paraphrasing, he said that he was born in Syria and he's going to die in Syria. So I don't think he's going to accept anything other than a complete defeat of the rebels, and he might be willing to use chemical weapons. I think the whole point of the president bringing this up is to basically say that that is unacceptable and that would incur response. Up to this point, the United States has been hesitant to be involved in the conflict militarily, both because of the domestic U.S. political campaign, as well as the fact that Russia and China are not willing to support us in the Security Council. But I think that if Assad were to use chemical weapons on his own people, that would be unacceptable for any U.S. president to tolerate.
Now, if this threat is considered imminent, could we expect reactions from neighboring countries, Israel namely? Would we expect some kind of response from it if this threat was considered imminent?
Well, I think, first of all, there are a variety of different delivery systems that can carry chemical weapons. There are the Scud missiles, which were used during the Iraq War against Israel. They weren't chemical weapons in 1991, but they're capable of being armed with chemical weapons. There's short-range artillery, there's short-range rockets, and then there's aircraft. And so the good news is that the longer-range rockets require several hours to fuel. You can't just fire them and launch them and fire them. You have to put them in an upright position and load them with toxic fuel for hours. And that's an activity that we might be able to detect. And in fact, the U.S. intelligence has been very, very careful as to not give away what they know about our ability to detect what kind of movements. They say that we're observing that they might be moving them. We don't know whether that means they're unloading them from the central weapons stockpile, which is a deep underground bunker, or whether there's any kind of activity, highly secure convoys toward the various Scud launch sites, and those are all hardened underground as well to protect them against the Israelis. The main reason that the Syrians even have a chemical weapons program is because of their concern about the Israeli nuclear program. So they saw this as a way to deter Israel from attacking Syria in years gone past. And now it's outlived its usefulness. And the Israelis have a anti-ballistic missile capabilities, probably able to shoot down those missiles if they were launched at Israel. And the whole point of the president going on air and basically telling Assad he's not willing to put up with this is to keep Israel out of any kind of conflict.
Tim Brown from the Global Security Group from Washington, thank you for joining us.